If you want a Hellcat swap any vehicle for the cheapest way possible, you've came to the right place. Because around a year ago, I decided to throw a Hellcat engine in this old Honda Accord. And this build is so crazy to the point that so many people don't even believe it's real because they don't think you can fit it in this engine bay. But if you're really dedicated, man, you can make anything happen. Now, I'm not gonna say it was easy, and this one was definitely not the cheapest, but I do know how you would go about getting it for the cheapest way possible. The way you get the parts is a big way that you can save money on the Hellcat swap. Don't go and buy a crate engine. Don't go buy any engine just by itself. Go to an auction, find a wrecked Hellcat, one that's in good enough condition that it gives you most of the parts you need. For example, if somehow you're lucky enough to find a Hellcat with just some side damage where like the doors all smashed in or something, but the axles in the back are good, the diff, the drive shaft, the transmission, the engine, all that good stuff that you're gonna need for the swap. If that's all good and you can get it for a good price, it's definitely gonna be way cheaper than going and buying the parts separately on your own. Now, me personally, I was lucky enough to find a wrecked Hellcat in good enough condition for only $20,000, which is honestly like a huge savings because the engine itself, I think nowadays some of them are selling for like 20K just for the engine. No transmission, no drive shaft, just an engine. I got pretty lucky when I bought it because also you gotta think we're in a time where the last call Hellcats didn't exist. We didn't even know that the Hellcats were for sure being discontinued, and it was a different car market, different time, like all that stuff. So that's why it was a lot cheaper than what it is now. Today, I don't know if you could find the same condition Hellcat for 20K. I almost know for sure that you can, but if you do, you better buy that or send it to me because I'll buy it. Now, this is where the difficulty increases and the price may also increase depending on your vehicle. Specifically for this one, there's extra work that had to be done, like the frame being extended in the front, the rear frame welded on in the back, and all the extra supporting mods to make this car work. That, let's say, a Chrysler 300 that already came stock with a 5.7 Hemi, has the room for a V8, has axles, all that good stuff. I mean, you may have to upgrade the axles and stuff like that, but at the very least, you don't have to extend the whole front of your car like I did to make it fit. That's going to be a lot cheaper for you if you have a vehicle that's more fit for an engine swap like that. But this is how you do on any vehicle, even a Chevy Spark. If you want to throw a Hellcat engine in a Chevy Spark, I'm going to tell you how you can do it for the cheapest way possible. It's not going to be that cheap because you're doing it on a vehicle that requires a lot of extra work. But after you got all the parts, you got to decide how you're going to install these parts. Are you able to do it yourself, or do you need to pay for labor and have someone else do it? I'm not going to lie, I had to pay for labor, and that increased the cost of this vehicle a lot, because if you could just do it in your garage or your backyard or whatever the case might be, that's going to save you a lot of money. So if you can do that, let me know in the comments because that's huge. I couldn't even do it. I just want to know if you could. The labor on this car, on just the initial front wheel drive Hellcat swap a year ago, dude, I think it was probably like, I don't even remember, like 20 to 25K ish, maybe even 30K. It was pricey. It also just depends on how many errors you run into and how many things have to be redone, and extra costs that you may not be thinking of when you first start the build. So I feel like I'm forgetting like a really big like piece of advice that could get you a Hellcat swap for cheaper. I can't think of it right now though, so if you have any questions about a Hellcat swap, just drop in the comments and I can try to help you out. I already know what you're thinking. For me to claim that this car has a Hellcat engine, you want to see it drive, you want to see it do what it do, and don't worry, I got you. The video's on screen right now, so just click it and go watch it.